Greek soldiers faced an army of 100,000 Persians on the plains of Plataea. By sunset, the mightiest empire on earth would never threaten Greece again. This is the story of how grief became vengeance, and how the ghosts of Thermopylae guided Greek spears to victory. 10 years after 300 Spartans died at Thermopylae, their brothers would extract a price in blood that would echo through eternity. The fate of Western civilization balanced on bronze spear points. By the end of this video, you'll understand how the Greeks turned certain defeat into impossible victory, why Persian corpses choked the Asopos River, and the single combat death that changed history forever. You'll discover the tactical blunder that doomed 100,000 Persians, the midnight maneuver that nearly destroyed the Greek alliance, and how one man's death sparked the greatest slaughter in ancient warfare. But here's what the Persian scouts missed. Picture this scene. August 479 BCE. The morning sun reveals a sight that should have guaranteed Persian victory. The Greek army, exhausted, thirsty, scattered across miles of dusty plain faces, the largest invasion force ever assembled. Mardonius, commanding for King Xerxes, sees easy prey. Greek formations are broken. Their legendary discipline has crumbled. Victory seems certain. Then the unthinkable happened. Within 6 hours, that massive Persian army would cease to exist, not defeated, annihilated. The impossible became inevitable, and from this day forward, no Persian king would ever again dare to cross into Europe. At the heart of this transformation stands one man, Pausanias, regent of Sparta, carrying the weight of his cousin Leonidas' sacrifice. Today, he commands not just Spartans, but the largest Greek alliance ever forged. Today, Thermopylae will be answered. But Pausanias faces 3 mysteries that could destroy everything. Why did Mardonius abandon his impregnable position? What secret message made the Spartan risk everything on a night march? And how did disorganized Greek forces transform chaos into victory? To understand this slaughter, we must return to the ashes. If you're fascinated by the untold stories of history's most decisive battles, where empires rise and fall in a single day, hit that like button and subscribe for more epic war content. Now, let me take you back to 479 BCE, when Greece's darkest hour became its greatest triumph. The year is 480 BCE. Leonidas and his 300 lay dead at Thermopylae's gates. Their sacrifice bought time, but at a terrible cost. Now Xerxes' war machine rolls south, unstoppable. Athens burns. The Acropolis, symbol of Greek achievement, becomes smoke and rubble. Citizens flee to nearby islands, watching their city die across the water. This is where Pausanias proves his genius. He doesn't just carry Leonidas' bloodline, he carries his burden. As regent for Leonidas' young son, every Spartan looks to him for vengeance. But vengeance requires allies, and Greeks famously hate each other almost as much as they hate Persians. Enter our cast of commanders. Pausanias, the reluctant avenger, a man who never expected to lead, now commanding the entire Spartan force. Aristides the Just, leading 8,000 Athenians burning for revenge. His city lies in ashes, his people demand Persian blood, and opposing them, Mardonius, Xerxes' hammer, the king's own cousin, hand-picked to finish what Thermopylae started. But here's what makes Plataea different from every battle before: unity. For the first time in Greek history, ancient enemies stand together, Spartans beside Athenians, Corinthians alongside Megarians. 40,000 hoplites from 24 city-states, bound by shared rage and common purpose. Think about what this means. These cities have warred for centuries. Their grandfathers killed each other. Their gods demand different sacrifices. Yet here they stand, shields locked, because the alternative is slavery. This isn't just a military alliance, it's a miracle. The Greeks bring more than unity. They bring the finest heavy infantry in the ancient world. Each hoplite carries 50 pounds of bronze armor. Their shields overlap in the fearsome Phalanx formation. Their 12-foot spears outreach anything in the Persian arsenal. Man for man, they're worth 5 Persian soldiers. But Mardonius has 25 men for every Greek. What happened next defied 10,000 years of military logic. Mardonius commands not just Persians, but the empire's subject nations. Immortals in scale armor, Median cavalry, Indian archers, Egyptian spearmen, Thracian swordsmen, 100,000 warriors speaking 50 languages, armed with the wealth of 3 continents. The stage is set 9 miles south of Thebes, where the Asopus River cuts through dusty plains toward Mount Cithaeron. Here, geography becomes destiny. The Greeks need water but can't reach the river. Mardonius holds the plains where his cavalry dominates. Neither side can attack without disadvantage. For 11 days, they watch each other, probing, testing, waiting. But the Greeks have one advantage Mardonius never considered. They're fighting for home. Every man can see the smoke still rising from burned cities. Every Spartan remembers Thermopylae. Every Athenian tastes ash when the wind blows south. Then came intelligence that changed everything. A secret message that would transform Greek disadvantage into Persian disaster. But first, the armies must position themselves for history's most decisive day. But how do you fight an empire that commands half the world? Dawn breaks over Plataea. Mardonius surveys his greatest weapon, sheer, overwhelming numbers. 100,000 men carpet the plain like locusts. His Persian guard alone outnumbers the entire Spartan contingent. But numbers tell only part of the story. Let's understand these armies. The Greek force centers on 10,000 Spartans, not the 300 of Thermopylae, but an army that remembers those 300 with every breath. Leading them are the veteran warriors who trained alongside Leonidas. They've waited 10 years for this moment. Beside them march 8,000 Athenians under Aristides, their city's destruction fresh in memory. The remaining 22,000 come from across Greece. Corinthians seeking glory, Megarians proving courage, Plataeans defending their actual homes. This is where Greek discipline became Persian nightmare. Each hoplite trains from age 7. Their bronze breastplates can turn arrows. Their helmets limit vision but maximize protection. That famous round shield, the hoplon, doesn't just protect its bearer. In formation, each man's shield guards the soldier to his left. Individual glory means nothing. Formation is everything. But the Persians bring their own advantages. Mardonius commands the empire's elite, 10,000 immortals whose numbers never diminish. When one falls, another takes his place. 20,000 cavalry, the finest horsemen on earth, armed with composite bows that outrange Greek javelins. 70,000 infantry from across the empire, each unit bringing specialized skills honed over generations. Here's the detail historians still can't explain. Why did both armies choose Plataea? For Mardonius, it's obvious. The broad plains favor his cavalry. But Pausanias deliberately marches to ground that disadvantages Greeks, unless he knows something Mardonius doesn't. The answer lies in intelligence. A Theban named Alexander, secretly sympathetic to the Greek cause, attends Mardonius's war councils. What he reports changes everything. But Pausanias can't act on it, not yet. First, he must position his forces exactly where Mardonius expects them. For 11 days, the armies probe each other. Persian cavalry raids Greek positions each morning, arrows darkening the sky. Greeks huddle under shields, unable to retaliate. In just 17 minutes, everything changed when Persian riders discover the Greek water supply, a spring behind their lines. They foul it with dead horses and debris. Now 40,000 Greeks face death by dehydration under the August sun. This tactical detail changed warfare forever. Mardonius pioneered strategic dehydration, forcing enemies to move or die. But Pausanias had been waiting for this. He needs an excuse to reposition his forces without arousing suspicion. The fouled spring provides perfect cover. As darkness falls on the 11th night, Pausanias orders something unprecedented. A full tactical withdrawal under cover of darkness. 40,000 men must move 3 miles in perfect coordination, in total silence, to new positions near fresh water. But moving an army at night is like herding cats in a thunderstorm. Units lose contact. Commanders misunderstand orders. Some refused to move at all. Then came the sound that froze Persian blood, or rather, the absence of sound. Persian sentries, expecting to hear Greek movements, hear nothing. Have the Greeks fled, or is this a trap? One Spartan captain named Amompharatus refuses his orders. He plants his unit's standard and declares no Spartan retreats from any enemy. This isn't mere bravado, it's a crisis that could shatter the entire alliance. If Spartans won't follow Pausanias, why should anyone else? But wait, it gets even more insane. As dawn approaches, the Greek army stretches across miles of broken ground. Athenians have reached their position. The centre has vanished entirely into olive groves. Spartans remain in the open, arguing with Amompharatus, while Persian scouts watch in amazement. Mardonius can't believe his fortune. The disciplined Greek army has dissolved into chaos. This is the moment he's waited for. The Greeks vulnerable, divided, demoralized. He orders immediate attack. But first, let me tell you about the omen that almost stopped everything. Greek priests, examining the sacrificial goats, declare the signs unfavorable for battle. Pausanias faces a commander's nightmare. Enemy cavalry thundering forward while his men stand idle, forbidden by the gods to raise their spears. Then came the night that nearly ended everything. Dawn, August 27th, 479 BCE. Persian scouts race back to Mardonius with impossible news. The Greek battle line has shattered. Spartans stand isolated on a ridge. Athenians cluster 3 miles away. The centre has vanished entirely. After 11 days of perfect discipline, Greek unity has collapsed in chaos. Can you hear it? The thunder of 20,000 Persian cavalry mounting up. Mardonius sees victory handed to him by the gods. His generals urge caution. This could be a trap. But the scene before them defies logic. Spartans stand in the open, a mere 11,500 men, including their allied contingents. Easy prey for arrows, perfect targets for cavalry charges. This is where the story takes a brutal turn. Mardonius orders his mounted archers forward. They sweep across the plain like a plague of locusts, composite bows singing. Arrows fall like deadly rain on Spartan bronze. But watch what happens next. The Spartans do something that still haunts historians. Nothing. They stand perfectly still, shields locked, spears grounded. Men fall, pierced by arrows finding gaps in bronze. Blood seeps into dusty earth. Still they don't move. Pausanias stands at their front, hands raised to the heavens, praying while his men die around him. Picture this scene from a Persian archer's view. You're galloping past the most feared warriors on earth. Your arrows strike home. Men fall, but the formation doesn't waver. Not one Spartan breaks rank to chase you. It's unnatural, inhuman, terrifying. Now, imagine you're a Spartan hoplite. Your shield arm burns from holding position. Arrows clatter off bronze like hail. The man beside you gasps, an arrow through his throat. You step over his body, close the gap. You've trained for this moment since age 7. Leonidas died like this at Thermopylae. Today, you'll prove worthy of his sacrifice. But Pausanias faces a crisis deeper than arrows. Greek religious law forbids fighting without favourable omens. The priests keep checking the sacrifice victims. The signs remain negative. Persian cavalry wheel and charge, wheel and charge. Each pass costs Greek lives. How long can discipline hold against death? Here's where superior equipment became mass slaughter, but not yet. First, the human drama unfolds. Callicrates, the most handsome man in the Greek army, takes an arrow through the lungs. As he dies, he doesn't mourn his life. He mourns that he'll die without striking a blow for Greece. This is Spartan psychology distilled. Death means nothing. Failure means everything. 3 miles away, Aristides faces his own crisis. His 8,000 Athenians can see dust clouds from the Spartan position. They know their allies are under attack. But between them and the Spartans lies the bulk of the Persian army. To reach their allies means frontal assault against impossible odds. Then physics itself seemed to favour the Greeks. The morning sun, rising behind Greek lines, blazes directly into Persian eyes. Mardonius must attack half-blind or wait for better light. But momentum matters in battle. His men's blood is up. He orders the general advance. This is the moment empires learn to fear democracy. As 50,000 Persian infantry surge forward, something extraordinary happens. Without